I'm going to get started by saying I'm not really into superstition. I've always been a person to shoot down stories and ideas about the supernatural. I'm still not sure if I'm a believer, but what I do now is something happened to But what I do know is that something happened to my brother that I cannot exactly explain. My brother Bill isn't exactly the most normal person in the world. He's a borderline schizophrenic, so he can get a bit odd at times, like saying he sees weird stuff and randomly talking to himself. So my mother put him on medication. Don't get me wrong, I love my brother to death. He's a great kid. He just gets annoying with certain things. He is obsessed with weird stuff like dreams and meditation. The last 11 years, he has kept journals religiously. What you are about to read is his final journal entry. I have not edited, changed, or fixed anything about this entry. For personal reasons, I will leave the date out of this incident. For the past 5 weeks, I've thoroughly been practicing and have become relatively good at lucid dreaming. If you're unaware to what lucid dreaming is, it is the ability to understand when you're dreaming while you're asleep, making you become in control of your own dreaming experience. That's not important, but the point I'm trying to make is that I've become very aware as to when I'm dreaming and when I'm not. The last year and a half, I've practiced the art of Chakra. Chakra is comprised of about 7 centers of psychiatric energy, which you learn to calm your body in these areas to state so you can cause astral projection. In other words, to have an out-of-body experience on demand. The only problem is that it's completely different from lucid dreaming. You can screw this up really bad, then you're in some serious trouble. I'm sure some people have seen the movie Insidious. While you found it pretty scary, and some found it stupid, the movie offers one concept that is scary. The little boy in the movie projects himself too far, can't make it back to his body, and then goes into a coma. But this is the scary part that can actually happen when you project too far out of your boundaries. That part of the movie is eerily true. When you project, all of your senses are heightened significantly. You can hear things miles away, smell things miles away. Emotions are much, much stronger. When I used to project, I would do it during the daytime while I was in a happy state of mind, usually in a well-lit room, where I could focus and not feel too confined. The farthest I've made it was about 4 feet from my body. While that sounds lame and all, it's actually very invigorating and exciting. It's almost as if you can feel your body being lifted out of itself, only to be a better feeling version of yourself. I became obsessed with it and kept practicing. Then one night, I wandered a bit too far out of my boundaries and witnessed something I will never forget. I tried doing it at night for a change, before I went to sleep. Well, I was incredibly depressed about an issue I'd rather not get into, but I decided to do it anyway. I started off in my computer armchair in my room, around midnight. Sometimes it can take a very long time before you can project properly. I put myself into complete relaxation. I felt my body numbing itself slowly from my forehead all the way down to my toes. After about 45 minutes, I started to feel myself lift. I became lighter. My problems went away. I felt like I was completely high off life. It was in a completely different state of mind. I floated in front of my body where I could see myself, sitting in my computer armchair, with my school books scattered all over the desk, after my pitiful attempt to complete my statistics homework. When I started to move towards my back wall, reaching about roughly 4 feet from my body, so I decided to go farther. and outside the wall of my room into the pouring rain outside. I've never traveled outside, but I know become the farther you move away from your body, the less control you feel you have. It's almost as if your power to move becomes more and more depleted. Depending on the person who is projecting and how experienced they are, time can either move much slower or much faster. In my case, since I'm not exactly qualified as experienced, time moves significantly faster for me. If you can picture a stopwatch, the speed at the second move is about the time it takes for the minute to change for me. I look peaceful sleeping, our Great Dane lying right next to the chair. By this point in the night, all the lights in my house are out, and everyone is asleep. Then something incredibly horrifying happened. I saw a tall man enter my room, very slowly. I didn't recognize him at all. He was an old, sickly-looking man, with white hair, dressed in a full black suit. He walked into my room and stopped right in front of my computer chair, where I was sitting. My dog woke up immediately. My first thought was that this guy had broken into my home. My dog was going to go nuts. No. What happened was the complete opposite. That informed me that something wasn't seriously wrong already. Now, it was. My dog immediately stood up, stuck his tail between his legs, and peed all over the floor. It wasn't like he had an accident. We have a doggy door, and he is more than trained to use it. His legs were shivering uncontrollably, and he walked out of the room. He knew something was wrong with this man. I completely thought I was going to see it shut down as I stared at him while I hovered over my window. I thought to myself, can this guy see me? How did he get into my home? How did my mother and father not see him come in? He didn't look like me in any shape, forcibly entry, but he was very creepy demeanor to him. That made me horrified as I watched him. He didn't move, not a single muscle. He stood in front of my chair, staring at me, his eyes locked on my body as if he were watching a television. As I looked at my clock, I could see the time flying by. He still stood. Hours went by. He still stood. I couldn't move. I couldn't get back to my body. I felt immobile, paralyzed, forced to watch this unknown being relentlessly stare at my body. As I watched, as the time hit 5 a.m., my brother walked into my room. The man didn't move. My brother walked right into the man to my dresser, where I hid my Playboys. He was no more than 1 foot away from my brother, still staring at me. Then my brother looked at me sleeping, walked over to my body, and slapped my face to wake up. He probably just thought I fell asleep in my chair. I couldn't feel anything from where I was projecting. I felt nothing connected with my body. My brother slapped me again, this time harder. At this point, he is directly next to the tall man. When my brother walked out of the room, he didn't see him. He didn't even make an indication that something could possibly be wrong. Whoever or whatever this thing is, my brother can't see him. But my dog could. What the heck is going on? I am absolutely petrified at this point. I am on the verge of crying. I am helpless and I just want to scream, but I can't. I just want to go back to my room, to my body, and snap out of this. But I can't. Then I noticed the minutes stop moving fast. They stop at 6:12 a.m. Then I could feel the rain stop. What's going on? I still can't make my way in my room, so I can't be snapping out of it. Then all my sounds stop completely. I can't hear anything or sense anything. As if you were put a television on mute. The man turned very slowly, directly at me out the window, as if he knew. I was there the whole time. He is hideous now. I can't get a better look at him. His hair is disheveled. His eyes look sucked back into their sockets. His face full of wrinkles and scars. His eyes lock with me, and he smiles. Not a happy-looking smile, the type of eerie smile that seems to stretch from ear to ear with a sort of demented meaning to it. Then he puts his finger to his mouth. Shh. Then he turns back and walks out of my room, slowly, with the door closing behind him, without him touching it. The next blink I was shoved back into my body, jolted up as if I'd been shot with adrenaline. I ran out of my room to catch the man. Nothing. I checked my whole house. Nothing. I thought immediately that it was a dream. An incredibly vivid dream until I walked back into my room, stepped into something wet that smelled like... oh God, it was urine. I frozen with shock. I didn't know what to think. I went to see my magazines were missing from what I remembered. I checked my dresser. It was gone. That's when I noticed something next to my homework in a piece of paper I didn't recognize. I picked it up. The wording was a bit scratchy, but it read, "You'll be with me soon enough. The sights of hell bring its viewers back in. I can't tell anyone about this. I think I'm finally losing it." That's where the journal entry ends. It's the last one in his book, and I'm not sure where to make all of this. I know nothing about lucid dreaming or astral projection. I'm writing this for help. My brother Bill passed away 4 days after his final journal entry. He died in his sleep. He was 18 years old, never had a cigarette or drank a beer in his life. He never had any health complications. Perhaps I'll see him again in my dreams.